Latest Wisconsin polling. Wisconsin has 10 electoral votes. And ordinarily it would be, you know, a nice state, but not of great importance. But here, it's a slug out. All right. So Atlas has got Harris up by 1. That's a dead heat. Rasmussen has got Trump up by 2. And nobody knows what's going on except our next guest. Joining us now from Wisconsin is the senior senator, Ron Johnson. You know him. I don't know whether you love him or not, but you know him, and he knows what he's talking about. How do you see Wisconsin right now, Senator?
Well, Bill, it's going to be close. I mean, it's going to be the bellwether state. I thought it was interesting that 60 Minutes had a piece last night about how Door County, little finger up there north of Green Bay, has picked the president in the last 6 elections. So I mean, we are the ultimate bellwether state, and it's going to be a close election. Our game plan is to encourage all Republicans to get out and vote early, and then spend their time from when they voted to election day to encourage other people to vote, because it will be the low propensity voters that decide this election.
So you don't have any gut feeling? I mean, Marquette University does a nice poll. You don't have any gut on how it's going to go?
Well, I tell you, the enthusiasm is definitely on our side. I think that's true. But the Democrats have a much easier task. All they have to do is turn out vote in Milwaukee and Madison primarily. In Republicans, we have to go throughout the state, every little small town, burg in the state. We've got to mine those votes. It's just a much more difficult task. But you know, one thing about the Trump rallies, and he'll have probably at least 1 or 2 more here, the reason people attend those is, yeah, they're entertaining. But what people really enjoy is they are surrounded by people for a number of hours, because you have to get there early, fellow patriots, people who love this country. And they love that atmosphere, being surrounded by other people that love this country. That's what Republicans got going for us. We love this country. The Democrats, let's face it, do you love something you want to fundamentally transform? I argue not. So the Democrats are very grumpy. They're very dissatisfied. They're very angry. Republicans, we got a sense of humor. We're in a pretty good mood. We're optimistic about this election, but we've got to do the work.
No, I think that's a good assessment. It's like a Packer pregame. Everybody comes together, has a few brews, and they're all like-minded. What about your co-senator, Tammy Baldwin? Is she going to win?
She's in trouble. And if your viewers want to help Eric Hovde, just go to erichuvde.com. That is dead even race. It'll depend an awful lot on how strong Trump does. But Eric's running a good campaign. Unfortunately, Tammy Baldwin, she's got no record to run on, kind of like Kamala Harris. So her entire campaign is lying about a really good person. Eric Hovde, a successful entrepreneur, has taken that success, has built and operates shelters for trafficked children around the world. And all Tammy Baldwin can do is lie about him. So it's very sad. So we need support, erichuvde.com. Very winnable race. He's working his tail off, as is the president, J.D. Vance. All of us are. Again, getting the vote out early, bank our vote, and concentrate on those low propensity voters.
All right. Now, I believe that the issues are defined, and there's not going to be any more issue stuff coming up. And that the candidates are basically speaking to the choir now. Harris going on CNN, Trump, I don't know if he's got any more Fox News stuff, but he did something yesterday there. If I were either or, I would kind of go into the lion's den a little bit. But you're not seeing that too much. You're seeing choir, choir, choir. You, as a obviously successful politician in a very tough state, is that the smartest strategy? Stay safe?
No, I like going the lion's den myself. I thought the McDonald's visit was brilliant because it showed Donald Trump as a person. It's the person that I know when I'm around him. I always say, if you spend time with Donald Trump, you cannot not like him. I mean, he put forward a very likable face while Kamala Harris is trying to, and all the Democrats trying to picture him as some kind of fascist, some sort of evil person. He was a very likable person. I would love to have him come in and do a rally like he did in the Bronx, in the city of Milwaukee. There's a lot of support inside the black community for Donald Trump because they realized under his administration, their wages were growing. The economy was doing well. They were able to start businesses without all the regulation of the nanny state. So I think Donald Trump definitely appeals to black voters, to Hispanic voters, and I would love to see him come in and really focus, at least do media in urban radio, Hispanic radio here in Wisconsin. I think he should do that across the nation. he can get those votes.
He should go to a Bucks game. All you got to do is go to a Milwaukee Bucks game and do some local press before it, right?
Yeah. No, again, he's always welcomed in those venues. Kamala Harris, not so much so, but Donald Trump.
Well, she didn't want that.
He brings down the house.
Yeah, Harris is not a confrontational person. I can see that. All right, final question for you. So say Trump loses, with a possibility. The Senate now, with Montana, almost assuredly going to go flip the seat to the Republicans. West Virginia, the same situation. I don't know about Baldwin. I mean, she may pull it out. But it looks like the Republicans are going to control the Senate. Would you disagree with that?
I'm cautiously optimistic.
All right, but are you still cautious?
We're concerned about Nebraska. I don't think anybody thought that could be a close race, but it might be a close race. Bernie Moreno is a great candidate in Ohio. So, no, I think we've got many chances to pick up, and we might actually have more than just a slender majority. But, again, we got to do the work.
Let's say, and that's very important because that will block a lot of this progressive stuff that Harris would implement or try to. Who's the leader of the Senate with McConnell stepping down? Is it Thune? Is it you? Who's leading it?
I'm supporting Rick Scott. Rick is an extraordinary individual, has a wonderful background, successful business person, successful governor. And we're going to need somebody who's willing to do the hard things, take up these issues. We're $35 trillion in debt. We have a $4 trillion tax increase on the horizon. We have Social Security, Medicare, trust funds running out. We have all these social issues, the DEI endemic through our institutions. We need bold leadership, not somebody's just going to go along to get along. That's not going to cut it. We have major problems facing this nation. We need a bold leader. I think Rick Scott would be that bold leader.
And will you make a prediction tonight that the GOP is going to take the Senate?
I'm cautiously optimistic. Listen, I do not count my chickens before they hatch, Bill. That's just superstitious that way. We thought it was going to be a red tsunami in 2022, and it wasn't.
And it wasn't. Absolutely. Yeah. Very humbling for me because I thought the same way. But I'm not going to say cautiously, and I'm not rooting, I'm reporting. But it looks to me, with the economic dissatisfaction, and you know as well as I do that a lot of people vote against Trump because of his demeanor. But that doesn't mean they're going to vote for the left, which has caused a lot of the inflation horror that we've experienced. But I just see the Senate going to Republicans.
Yeah, Bill, in a sane world with an unbiased media, these elections wouldn't even be close. I mean, how bad does it have to get? But it's an insane world, and we have a highly biased media, so it's going to be close.
All right, but nobody can be biased in the wallet. You know what you're paying for food and fuel. And in Wisconsin, that's huge. Hey, you're always welcome, Senator. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us tonight.
Thanks for having me on. Have a great night.
A large retail store just canceled a huge order, and now MyPillow has tons of extra stock. That's good news for us. Right now, you can get their entire classic collection at wholesale prices. The classic MyPillow, now just $14.88. Need something bigger? The queen size MyPillow, only $18.88. And for just $1 more, you can upgrade to king size. That's what I need. But there's more. Body pillows, just $29.88. And they're multi-use MyPillows, only $9.88. Go to MyPillow.com. Use promo code BILL or call 800-869-0298. Take advantage of wholesale pricing for the first time ever. And don't forget free shipping on orders more than $75. That's MyPillow.com or call 800-869-0298. Use promo code BILL to get the classic MyPillow for $14.88. Don't wait. This is the lowest price ever. And there's a limit of 10 per order. Once they're gone for good. All right, joining us now from upstate New York is John McGlaughlin. He is President Trump's internal pollster, along with Tony Fabrizio. Anything new on the data front, John?
Yeah, it's still very close. I mean, you're exactly right. By the way, this stuff comparing Trump to Hitler, they're desperate, and it's irresponsible because President Trump had to survive an assassin's bullet. And that kind of vitriol just contributes to that kind of environment. But going back to the polls, what's got them freaked out is President Trump, compared to 2016, at this point in time, we were down 6 points to Hillary Clinton, not winning any of the battleground states. It was a Hillary lock. We won that race. In 2020, at this point, we were down 8 points in the average of the national polls, not winning any battleground state. And we just missed by 44,000 votes across 3 states out of 160 million votes. What's different today and is freaking them out is that Donald Trump is neck and neck with Kamala Harris in the national popular vote, and he's winning the battleground states, so that when you tip the close ones, and they are very close, he gets 312 electoral votes. We need 270 to win. But let me tell you what they're basing this on. North Carolina, the average of the Real Clear Politics polls has us ahead by 0.4. Pennsylvania, 0.8. Wisconsin, 0.4. Michigan, 1.2. Georgia, 2.5. Arizona, 1.8. And Nevada, 0.9. So it's extremely close. The early votes are now coming in where you can count votes. Most of these states, the battleground states, are voting. And they're voting by mail, and they're voting in early in person. And the Democrat numbers by mail are down, and the Republican numbers are up, particularly early in person voting in Georgia, North Carolina, Nevada, Arizona. So things are going better, but we have 13 days to go. And
let me just stop you there, though, because I have some questions about the early voting. The states themselves cannot put out tallies by law until the polls close on November 5th, correct? So you don't know. You know registration-wise who's voting. I guess you can get that information, but you don't know who they're voting for, correct?
The difference is the parties, both Democrats and Republicans, by registration, we know we're getting over 90% of the Republicans. They know they're getting maybe close to 90% of the Democrats. We have an idea because of internal polling where we stand with independents. We also know that in the states that don't have party registration, there's affinity scores based on what party we think you're in, whether you're a Republican, Democrat, or independent. So there's modeling going on where each side is saying, this is where we stand today.
Okay, and but I want to know the law. So early voting, Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth cannot put out vote totals. Is that correct?
Correct. What they're putting out is the mail-in ballots that are in hand, which are over 1 million right now. They know whether they're a Republican or a Democrat or an independent.
That's so all they know, though, where the party registration is. Okay, fair enough. Now, you say, and I believe it's true, there are more early voting ballots being cast by Republicans this year than there had been 4 years ago. Is that correct?
Correct.
By how much?
Yeah, it depends upon the state, but it's significant. For example, when you look at Georgia, they're up to like over 1.7 million votes, and what we think Republicans are, we're running like a little ahead of the Democrats right now in terms of the types of voters who are voting early in person. The mail-in ballots are way down because they fixed their election law that you need voter ID for absentees and early in person as well as election day. And you also, we got rid of the Zuckerberg drop boxes that David Plouffe, Obama's
right.
And
well, that's just in one state, though. Boy, all states should do that. So right now, you work for Trump. You work for the Republicans. The Republicans, would it be fair of me to say that they are confident they are going to win? Would that be a fair statement as it stands today?
I think a lot of our friends are too confident, because if you go back to 2012, on this day in 2012, Mitt Romney was ahead by a point. And he was leading in the average of the national polls until Halloween. Remember when Sandy hit, a lot of the Republicans stopped polling the week before. They didn't poll through the weekend. But the Real Clear Politics average, after Sandy hit, Romney was flying over the affected states, just like Harris and Biden were trying to ignore what went on in North Carolina and Georgia. Now they're paying a price for what they didn't do there. But when Romney flew over those states, it was a message to the country that Obama's right. He doesn't care about the little person. Trump is out there. The difference is, and Romney lost his lead the final weekend. And in the end, the polls had Obama up by a point the day before the election on the average, and Obama won by 4 points, 51.
Why did Romney lose, in your opinion? Just succinct, because it doesn't apply today. But I'm just curious. What was it in the last weekend that he did or did not do that swung it to Barack Obama?
What happened was the Obama campaign made him a rich guy who didn't care about the average working person.
Okay, and that got through.
And people walked away from the election. The low propensity of less voters didn't come out.
Now, my theory, and it's based on facts, is that Trump's profile with the voters, the MAGA people, and the Republican Party, and you cited it before, that 90% are probably going to vote for him, but is much stronger than Harris-Walz, who their support is tepid, even among Democrats, unless you're a real fanatic progressive. When I was in Vermont last weekend, perhaps the most liberal state in the country, I didn't see any Harris-Walz signs on the lawns or any of that. And see, one, you go to Middlebury, which is crazy land, then you get a little, but that's it, not in the regular towns. So my theory, working theory, is that Trump is more likely to get a turnout than Harris is.
It is, except in their weakness of the lack of enthusiasm for Harris-Walz. What they're trying to do now, and this is your original point, they're shifting to a character attack on Trump personality.
Right.
And they're trying to make him, they're running ads calling him unstable and deranged. And they're trying to get him to lose it because he's winning on performance. He was a better president. And the question is, do you want 4 more years like the last 4 years? High inflation, open borders, endless wars? Well, then you vote for Harris. If you want to vote for a better president who will lower inflation, grow the economy, secure the border, fight crime, end wars, then you vote for Trump. And they don't want that comparison.
No, they don't want the comparison because it's in stone. You know you had more money 4 years ago to spend on the essentials of life than you do now. I can't debate it. All right, we're going to bring John McGlaughlin back on November 4th, one day before. By that time, he should have a prediction handy. I'm going to make my prediction on Halloween. I'm going to dress up like Chester A. Arthur to promote Confronting the Presidents, make my prediction. Chester A. never had a run. I mean, he was just like, okay. I got the job because Garfield's dead, and he sat there and really didn't do much. But anyway, I've got you, and I got Doug Schoen. You know Doug, and you guys are friends. I got you both on the day before the vote. We're looking forward to that. And we'll run down the whole deal. We'll spend most of the program on it. Appreciate it, John. You're going to be at the Yankee game next week. I know John McGloughlin's a big Yankee fan. We're pulling for the Yanks as well. And we'll talk soon, I hope. Thank you. Today's economic climate, very stressful, as you know. But with the Fed finally dropping interest rates, there's no better time to put you and your family in a better financial position. As a homeowner, American Financing can help you free credit card debt by using equity. They've already helped thousands of families just like yours. On average, American Financing saves borrowers more than $800 a month. That's like a $10,000 raise in the marketplace. Better yet, it costs nothing to find out how much you can save. They are even closing some in as little as 10 days. And if you start today, you may not have to make next month's mortgage payment. There's no better time to turn your situation around. Please call today, 888-462-9557, 888-462-9557, AmericanFinancing.net. All right, listen up, because you have worked hard to protect your home and your hard-earned equity. And there's a threat out there you probably haven't even heard of: title theft. The FBI calls it house stealing. Scammers can literally transfer your home's title into their name, take out loans, drain your equity. You might not even know it's happening until it's too late. That's why you need triple lock protection from our friends at Home Title Lock. Their system gives you 24/7 monitoring instant alerts, and restoration services if you are attacked. Here's the deal. Go to HomeTitleLock.com. Enter the promo code BILL30, and you'll get 30 days of triple lock protection free, plus a complete scan of your home's title to make sure you are in the clear. Remember, 30 days free. Title scan included. Use promo code BILL30 at HomeTitleLock.com or visit the link below. Bernie Sanders. I haven't heard a lot about the barn burner. I was up in Vermont this weekend. I'll tell you about that in a minute. He's kind of a little, very, very low profile. Same with Ocasio-Cortez in New York. Not a lot about him. But they have big-time sway over Kamala Harris. Okay? So Bernie shows up on CNN yesterday. Go.
So if we are able to elect Harris, I think we're going to have an opportunity to move her on that issue, to make it clear we cannot allow children in Gaza to starve to death. She will be open to that. I doubt that Trump will.
Okay, so this is another progressive tenet, that the children in Gaza are starving to death and Israel is doing it. When Sanders knows, because U.S. intel has put it out, that the food and the aid to the civilians in Gaza is being stolen by Hamas terrorists. Everybody knows that. So what is Israel supposed to do? In fact, Sinwar, the Hamas leader who the Israelis waxed, shot him to death, they found him with millions of dollars in his little bunker. What's he doing with millions of dollars? Does he have a Netflix series? So, what Sanders does is he basically signals we can move her on the issue. Sanders has tremendous control over the Democratic Party right now because the progressives are in line with him. Now, they're not a communist like he is. He's a communist, Sanders, okay? But they are socialists. They want the big government to control everything and diminish personal freedom. That's what Sanders wants. Always wanted it. Always. And now he sees, you get Harris in there, it's going to be much easier. And I'm going to do my YouTube channel commentary on that. I'm going to tape that tonight. Daniel Penny, remember the name? He's a former Marine who was on a subway in New York City, May 1st, 2023. And a kind of deranged guy came into the subway car threatening people. Penny took him down, killed him. And he's being prosecuted by the uber-liberal DA, Alvin Bragg. And the trial starts today, jury selection. We are on the trial. We are watching very closely. I can't, in good conscience, acquit Daniel Penny. I am sympathetic to him. But let's see what the evidence says. Let's see the testimony of the fellow passengers say. So that starts today, and we're all over it. Smart Life. Now, I told you, and I told you, and I told you. Sugar. So there is a company called Hint Water. There's a lot of these companies now. They put out the carbonated waters that have no sugar in them as a substitute for soda and the iced teas, the energy drinks, which are loaded with sugar. So the study was 2,000 Americans, all right, by Hint Water, and it found that 85% of respondents are trying to lower their sugar intake, and the average American consumes, ready, 80 pounds of sugar a year. That's the average. Now, if you do that, if you are drinking the sodas, the soft drinks, the energy drinks, the sugar-laden iced teas, you are going to get sick. It's not if, it's when. So you'll get type 2 diabetes, all right? Your body will deteriorate. Your immune system will collapse eventually if you don't stop it. This should have been like tobacco. There should be warnings on M&Ms and everything else. Okay, we have Halloween coming up, and you're going to... I got the candy for the kids. I don't want to be some jerk. But I got the, I'm not giving them huge but, But anyway, adults who are consuming the sugar, and it's so hard not to. So when I was up in Vermont, you got apple cider, loaded, but it's good. Then you got cider donuts. Then you got every country restaurant's got pies, freshly baked. I mean, it's like, I can't have any of this. No, you can have some of it, but you've got to cut it down 75%. I'm sitting there and I see this stuff, and I ate some cider donuts and a little apple cider, but I'm conscious of it. That's what I want you to be in the Smart Life segment. And knock out the soft drinks and the energy drink. No. Look at the label. 80 milligrams, 100 milligrams. It's insane. Breakfast cereals. Okay? There are cereals that don't have any sugar or very little. Maybe 8 grams of sugar on a cereal. Fine. Go 8. But sugar frosted flakes and all this. So, Smart Life, you got to cut back the sugar. As soon as you cut back the sugar, the weight will fall off you. And here's my final tip in Smart Life tonight. When you are craving sugar, which it's addictive, so that's what happens, here's what I do. I like cashew nuts. So take a couple of handful of cashews, all right, bop them in, and then you're thirsty. I take water with lemon, fairly significant glass, pop it in. Hunger's gone. Craving's gone. You don't have to be cashews. It can be almonds, peanuts, whatever like you, but pecans, whatever you like. But that stops it. Smart Life. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.